successful. Oh, do we have a table topic master? Okay, I'll see if I can think of something for table topics.
Ramesh,
Yeah.
Ramesh.
Oh, Somesh? Oh, great.
Yeah,
Thank
I kind of volunteered. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Somesh. Great. All right. We have a lot more participants on the agenda now than we did 5 minutes ago. I'm happy to hear that. All right. I would first like to ask Lola, as grammarian, do you have a word of the day for us?
Yes, Kaushal. It's eloquent, the word of the today. It means eloquent describes someone who speaks or writes in a fluent, expressive, and persuasive manner. It can also refer to nonverbal communication that conveys deep meaning. And I share it on the chat. Thank you so much, Kaushal.
Great. Thank you, Lola. That's a great word, eloquent. And we should all, as Toastmasters, strive to be eloquent and to promote eloquence in everyone's everyday speech. I would now like to introduce our first speaker of the meeting. And that is Anvita Hegde. Anvita will be speaking from the Dynamic Leadership Path. She'll be completing the Level 3 Negotiate the Best Outcome project from that path. The title of her speech is The Principles of Negotiation. I'm quite interested in seeing what she has to say, as I've studied a bit of negotiation myself. So please help me welcome Anvita for her speech, The Principles of Negotiation.
Hello, can we meet up at 7 instead of 8? Oh, Anmita, then I have to leave my office early. Yes, but if you leave your office early, you'll get less traffic. That means an extended dinner. Good day, Toastmasters. Negotiation. We do it all the time. Whether it is meeting friends for dinner, negotiating salary at a new job, or resolving conflicts at work. Negotiating the best outcome is a very crucial skill. Today, let us explore how to do it. The first principle of negotiation is preparation. Several years ago, I was negotiating with the vendor for the interior work of my home. Madam, I'll give you 10% discount, the best offer anyone can give you. When he said this, I felt very happy. I immediately agreed. I did not have the big picture. I was only focused on the price which he was offering me. I had committed 2 mistakes here. I hadn't done my research on the vendor's competitors. I had no data on how much similar prices were elsewhere. That's why I had immediately accepted it. But few days later, I got to know that other vendors were offering much lower prices. That's why I went back to the vendor and I renegotiated. This time I had data with me. He ended up offering me a 40% discount. For negotiating the best outcome, we have to know our BATNA, which is short form for best alternative to a negotiated agreement, BATNA. Preparation is the key for a favorable outcome. The second principle is to build trust and rapport. Months ago, I was paired up with one of my colleagues to work on a team project with a limited budget. We had to allocate resources from different departments to that. Both of us had very strong opinions on how to go about it. Instead of arguing, I said, "Hey, why don't you share your perspectives and opinions with me? I'll share mine. Together we'll come up with something." She shared her ideas with me. I shared mine. I trusted her ideas. She trusted mine. Together, we combined our ideas and came up with something creative after compromising on some aspects. We did complete the project successfully. Without mutual trust, there cannot be a mutual agreement. And without that, we cannot achieve shared goals. The third principle is to create a win-win situation. I wanted to have a flexible work schedule. I went to my manager. Can I work from home 2 to 3 days in a week? This will help me focus on my personal commitments. The reduction in traveling time will also increase my productivity. Anvita, but don't you think your work will suffer because of this? Definitely not. Whenever any collaboration is needed, or if there are any important meetings, I'll be at office on those days. He immediately agreed because I justified how my work will be much more better than what I'm doing currently. It was a benefit to him as well as for me. It was a win-win solution. In a successful negotiation, all the parties involved walk away feeling satisfied. The last principle is patience. I was involved in negotiating a partner agreement at office. It took several rounds of discussions, compromises, and adjustments. At one point, I thought, definitely no deal will be reached because the partners were very adamant. Yet, I persisted with patience. Eventually, we did sign a contract. Good things will come to those who wait. Have patience in any negotiation because it will prevent you from taking rash decisions. Dear Toastmasters, negotiating the best outcome is not about you getting the maximum benefit. It is about everyone involved benefiting mutually. Apply the 4 principles of negotiation. The key is preparation, building trust and rapport, seeking win-win solutions, and exercising patience. The next time you find yourself at a negotiating table, go prepared thoroughly, listen actively, build trust, have patience, and arrive at a win-win solution. With these tools, you can always negotiate the best outcome, always. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Rita, for eloquently explaining the principles of negotiation. I think we can all have much better outcomes in life if we just take the time to negotiate and not be afraid to say, maybe not. Let's try something else. All right. I would now like to invite our second speaker, Teresa Carolyn, to give her speech. This is her contest speech that she's practicing. I believe the title of her speech is I Want to Be Ginger, or I Want to Be a, yeah, something like that. Okay, please help me welcome Teresa for her speech.
Are obstacles holding you back from achieving your eloquent goals? Self-development coach Brian Tracy speaks about obstacles using the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. He says that 80% of the goals that are holding you back are on the inside. Your beliefs, your feelings, your thoughts. And only 20% of those obstacles are on the outside. Other people, your address, your job. He says, start on the inside. Start with yourself. And when I did that, 3 I's came up. Impressionable, impressive, impressed. And while I pondered on these 3 I words, I came to understand a little more about the obstacles in my life. To start with, impressionable. I was an impressionable child. You would have been too if you had 4 older sisters. Teresa, do this. Teresa, stop. Teresa, go away. One of my older sisters, just 11 months older than me, said, "You're not smart. You didn't skip grade 3. Don't touch my stuff, Teresa. You don't take care of your things." And when it came to the dancing, I wanted to go to dance class. "You can't go to dance class, Teresa, because you're not good enough." These are some of the things that stayed with me all of my life. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't organized enough. Something that kept me from achieving my goals. And I always felt that there was a missing piece of the puzzle. When I was 9, I met Ginger. She was beautiful. She was confident. And when she walked into the room, people looked up and listened. I wanted people to listen to me. I wanted to be Ginger. Perhaps you know Ginger. She was the movie star on the television show Gilligan's Island. And when she walked in her slinky, shiny evening gown, everyone looked up. She was on a deserted island. Go figure. And so I wanted to be Ginger. I wanted to be confident. And for years at school, I worked hard. And when I was 18, I packed my bags and went to university. And after 4 long years, successful years, I took the first job offered. I was going to be an impressive teacher. 3 weeks into the job, I realized I was not impressive. In fact, I was the one looking up for fear of flying objects coming at me. But a colleague, a very supportive colleague, said, "If you can't handle it, get out." Well, I didn't get out. I worked harder. I got a master's in education. And I was now going to be an impressive principal. "Sorry, Teresa, it's not your turn." I heard that so many times that it became, "You're not smart enough. You're not organized enough. You're just not good enough." 30 years and not one impressive word said. Retirement came, I jumped at it. I packed my bags. This time, I went off to Italy for 3 months. And while I was there, I got to think about everything in my life. And when I thought about impressionable, my parents had 9 children, and there just wasn't the money for the extras. One of my sisters, older than I, had died at 2 years old from leukemia. And my sister, who was 11 months older, had a very serious operation. My parents were afraid to lose her too, I guess. And yet, when it came to impressive to get at school, I worried about what other people thought of me, not what I thought of myself. I wanted to be impressive for other people. And so I didn't get the jobs that I really wanted. But when I looked back on my journey, I was impressed. I was impressed by my unique and creative journey that I had and that I'm still having. And I was and am impressed. How about you? Do you feel that other people matter so much to you that what they think is more important what you think? Use the 80-20 rule. Go into yourself. Be impressed with who you are. Impressionable, impressive, impressed. I suggest you use these 3 words to help you find meaning and perhaps even get rid of some of those obstacles that are stopping you from achieving your eloquent goals. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Teresa, for an impressive contest speech. That was inspirational, and it really brought to mind the same struggles I've had in believing too much about what others say about me instead of believing in myself. And I've come to realize that believing in yourself instead of what others say about you is the ultimate act of rebellion. I would now like to ask our topic master, Samesh, to please lead us in our table topic session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, we don't have any guests today. So our topic today for the theme of the meeting is...
Somesh, just hang on. Sabarya, would you be able to do the timer? I think I'm having problems with the screen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Fatima. Thanks, Sabarya. So the theme meeting for today is Innovate, Integrate, Motivate, and our topics will be around the theme of the meeting. So in terms of innovate, there is a quote from Peter Drucker. He says that the best way to predict the future is to create it. This is what Peter Drucker says. So I would ask the question to Lola. Are you okay? What's one innovation you believe will change the world in the next 10 years?
Thank you so much, Mr. Tabletop Master Thomas. Artificial intelligence is just, I believe that it's going to change the whole world. The way we communicate, the way we interact with each other, even with nature, education is going to completely change. Because our artificial intelligence, it can really copy you and it can learn you, but sometimes it can be used in a bad way. For example, on the social media, you have to be careful, especially with videos. They can tag you, they can use your name, even make your video just look like you, and they can do whatever they want by using your credentials and using your name. And that's why we have to be very careful. For example, they can personate us. hackers or bad people, they can use our credentials and then they can communicate to other people from our name by asking money or by doing something wrong for their intentions. Another thing with artificial intelligence is that it's just going to change the way we interact, the way we think about jobs, the way we learn, we get educated. Because even right now in the United States, a lot of people are being laid off because of the partially because of the artificial intelligence, and it's replacing because it is automating. Like in tech coding, you don't need what if a person who knows artificial intelligence, he can replace 50 people, the job of the 50 people, and it's a huge loss. But I don't want to be so much pessimistic. It's a great opportunity, artificial intelligence. It's a great tool, and we have to know, train ourselves how to use it ethically and responsibly. Thank you so much, Mr. Somesh.
Huge round of applause to Lola for really eloquently answering the table topic. We come to the next theme of the meeting, which is integrate. There is a quote from Unknown: integration is the key to success, combining ideas, cultures, and efforts. How do you integrate new ideas into your daily routine? How do you integrate new ideas into your daily routine? John, would you like to go for it?
How do I integrate new ideas into my routine? Quite easy. I just get Fatima to tell me every 5 minutes to do it. No, just being thinking about it. It is that I actually got a little diary and I put down what I've got to do the next day. And then, so that's how I integrate things into my day when I actually decide to actually do something. And it takes away a bit of procrastination, my laziness. If I've got a list, I can actually follow that list. And a lot of times, if I do have the list, I get pride in actually ticking one off and getting them all done. But normally, what I do in the first half hour of the day, I've done most of them. Right. So I need to sort of like do it over the day so that I'm not finishing very quickly. But if I do have something to do, I tend to do it quite quickly and well get it out the way, and that's it done. It's one of those things that if I put my mind to it, I can do it. But if I don't put my mind to it, you'll find me laying on the bed with my phone in my hand or reading a book. This is my usual thing to do. But if I wanted to put something new into my day, the best thing I do, and I advise everybody to have a list. You can do it the night before, or you can do it when you get up in the morning and say, right, this is what I've got to do during the day. And then you will find that you can actually tick those off as you go through the day, and it makes your life a lot easier. Back to you, Sumesh.
Great set of ideas there, John, in terms of bringing in new ideas into the routine as well. The next theme of our meeting was motivate. There is a quote here: motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. This is by Jim Rohn. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. What's the best piece of motivation you have ever received? Fatima, would you like to take it?
What a great question. My book 2 years ago actually was on habits. I wrote 100 habits for the 21st century leaders. And this is a debate that I've had with leaders. Motivation in researchers, we take it as something that really we need to focus on in work performance. We try to create these incentives in workplace, giving more pay, encourage more, trying to motivate. And when I researched and studied and worked with teams, I realized that motivation needs to come within oneself. Habits is the way to actually empower people. And this is my key for everybody. Build up small steps. You can shape into habits. Like us, every morning we have a glass of whey protein now. And of course, for our morning breakfast before fasting 14 hours every day, with that protein, we also have porridge with blueberry and grapes that actually lasts us throughout for the whole day. Most people, they stuff up with lots of food and they can barely get through the day because they are full. We don't do that. Even breaking fast is small. For me and for others that I have worked, it's the small habits that you need to build over time. Motivation can lead and try to tap in together, combine, and eloquently you can do that together. Over to you, Sumesh.
Huge round of applause to Fatima. Again, a great answer, which is done quite eloquently as well. Welcome, Lillian Munari. Are you a Toastmaster or are you new to Toastmasters?
I'm a Toastmaster, but I'm new to the club.
Very good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Personal Growth Leaders Club.
Thank you.
Would you be happy to take a topic?
Table topics?
Table topics, yes.
Sure.
That's great. Thank you. I'll just say the topic now. I'm saying a quote and then there is a question which probably would be related to the quote or it might not be. So the quote here is creativity is thinking up new things. Innovation is doing new things. So this is by Theodore Levitt. So the question is describe a time when you had to think outside the box. Describe the time when you had to think outside the box.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. Oh, I can think of many times that I think outside the box, especially I'm a mom and I have 3 young kids and I'm constantly thinking outside the box because they don't always follow the rules that I make for them and do what I want them to do. So I always have to be creative, especially this morning. My daughter got up in the morning, she's 6 years old, and she wants to fix her own breakfast. So, it takes a lot of patience just to walk her through. It's just easier for me to make the breakfast for her, but she wants to do it herself. So I had to think outside the box, get the supplies for her, and then just stand there and be patient and wait for her to fix her oatmeal breakfast. And so it just took a lot of patience. Definitely, that's not what I do every morning, but today I had to step outside my comfort zone and actually let her do it, mess it up, but she finally fixed her own breakfast. And at the end of it, I was glad. I'm actually proud of her. Now I know I can supervise her and let her fix her own breakfast. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Well done. Thank you very much, Lillian, for coming in and giving a great answer to the topic with your direct experience. And who else can better think outside the box than the small kids, because they have got so much curiosity and outside the box thinking, that they would actually help the adults to go in that direction of curiosity and innovation with their own questions. Because sometimes the kids would ask some questions and then you'll think, how should I answer this question? And you get into that state. Thank you so much, Lillian, for that. Now, there's an interesting quote here. Innovation comes from unexpected juxtapositions. It's kind of interesting word there. It's by Nicholas Negroponte. Innovation comes from unexpected juxtapositions. How can two unrelated industries integrate to create something revolutionary? How can two unrelated industries integrate to create something revolutionary? Does anyone wants to go for it? Otherwise, I will ask someone to answer this. Does anyone wants to volunteer? Please go ahead, Kaushal. Thank you.
Mr. Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters. I think this has happened a lot in that innovation, the kind of innovation that changes our lives, comes as a result of something unintentional. I think about the Apollo program, in which the US launched a rocket that placed people on the moon. A great deal of innovation went into that project, and it resulted in some technology that we were able to adapt for other uses on Earth. I also think of the technology that is bringing us all together right now, the internet. Did you know that the internet started as an American military project, a way for armies to communicate with each other in case a nuclear war destroyed all other forms of communication? That's how the internet began. Fortunately, no such nuclear war took place, but we are benefiting from the innovation of that right now. And boy, has it ever changed the world. So I think you just never know what research, what efforts can yield in something that could change people's lives. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much. Great example there, Kaushal, in terms of how sometimes innovation can come in unexpectedly and then it just becomes the norm, as you have given the example of internet. So it's a great example there. Guess we can probably go for one last topic. It's nearly the time. There's a quote here. First we form habits, then they form us. It's by John Dryden. First we form habits, then they form us. What's one personal habit you integrated that changed your life? What's one personal habit you integrated that changed your life? Anyone wants to go for it? Please go ahead, Teresa. Thank you.
Mr. Table Topics, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I, once upon a time, had to lose a lot of weight. Don't ask me why. I just sort of gained a lot of weight and then I had to lose it. And as a weight loss coach, one of the things that I told my clients and that I use personally myself was to make sure that I tracked my food every day. Tracking helps you to remember, just like in anything in your life. If you have that calendar, that to-do list, or whatever it is that you follow that can help you to move forward each day in your eloquent dreams, then that is the best thing. For myself, it was the tracking, writing down exactly what I ate and sticking to it. Not saying that I didn't overeat sometimes because I did. But I knew that I had to get back on track. And that is the one thing that I believe is the most important, is to track your food if you want to lose weight, to track any of your activities if you want to achieve those eloquent goals that you have. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you very much. Huge round of applause to Teresa. I think the time is up now for the table topics. So thank you very much, everyone, for eloquently answering all the table topics. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster Kaushal Gupta.
Thank you so much, Samesh, for giving us really great table topics that were based on the theme. We learned a lot from our fellow Toastmasters here. I would now like to ask Teresa to please come back to the virtual podium and start our evaluation portion of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. What an eloquent meeting we're having today. And thank you very much for allowing me to do my contest speech. As your general evaluator, I will first introduce your evaluators for this morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And then I will ask for the timer report, grammarian report, and then follow through with my own general evaluation. So please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster John Khalid for his evaluation of Anvitha's speech.
Anvita, as usual, a very good speech. I always like listening to your speech because you get a lot of content in there. Now, your speech was principles of negotiation. And I could see through that speech, you were using language that benefited the other person. And so you were actually showing us by doing it. The examples you give us, because you gave us a couple of stories that you used there, stories attract people to listen. And I felt that was very good, you using those stories, but you also put in there the benefits for the other person when you use the negotiated style that you were actually using. So very well done there. You're very good at that of your vocal variety, changing the tone of your voice to imitate somebody else. Okay. You haven't done an American accent yet or an English accent. Maybe that's a thing for you in the future. But I could see where you were there, turning to one side, talking to one person, and then the other side for another person. So that was very well done there. That I thought was very, very good. Now, some areas that I want you to look at. I thought it was good. You started off well, and then you introduced the rest of the people, the Toastmasters. And then you started off saying about the preparation. Now, I didn't hear that you're going to tell us 4 areas that you could enhance your negotiation. Okay, I didn't hear that to begin with. Because anybody that's going to say anything, we usually say you tell them what you're going to tell them, which I'm going to give you 4 areas that you can improve your negotiating. You then tell them, which is your body, and then you tell them what you've told them, which comes at the end when you told them. Because you start off telling them the 4 areas that you're going to talk about. You talk about the 4 areas, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And then as I said, as you get to the end, you can turn around and say, well, I've told you about such and such, second such and such, third such and such, thinking about such and such. And you then can finish your actual speech that way, that emphasizes as the people have gone through. Yeah, I can remember it telling us at the beginning, I can remember it telling us in the middle, one by one, I know you've told us at the end, and it actually increases the person's knowledge that way, and it gets into their subconscious if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4 into their brain. But the rest of it, absolutely spot on. That's the only thing I would say to you to enhance your actual speech. So well done, and I look forward to your next speech. And back to you, our Toastmaster of the day. Not the Toastmaster, the general evaluator of the day.
Thank you very much, John, for your eloquent evaluation of Anvita's speech. I can't add anything to it. I thought that you fit that in quite well. To evaluate my contest speech, please welcome Somesh.
Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and especially Teresa. It was an impressive speech as usual. What I've noticed is you're getting better and better at delivering the message. It doesn't seem as if it's a prepared speech. It seems as if it's something that you are talking about yourself. And that makes it really relatable to people. It makes us to connect with you as a speaker. So that was really great. You were standing up, your body language was quite clearly visible. You had good variations in terms of your tone and also in terms of your pauses. What I can suggest in terms of getting it to the next level would be to bring in a little bit more of that variety. You already have it. You can enhance that variety a little bit more in terms of the different stories that you're giving us. It could have a little bit of role play, for example. And that role play would make it even more interesting in terms of what the message you were conveying us about impressionable. That was what you started with. And what I also noticed was you got different stories. And sometimes those stories are transitioning in a proper way. Sometimes it is a little bit loose. So what I would suggest is maybe try and tie them as much strongly as possible in terms of the relationship between the different stories that you have. So these are all very subtle kind of points. Otherwise, I think your speech was very impressive. And thank you very much for sharing all these wonderful thoughts, which always help us in terms of our personal growth. Thank you very much for your speech, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for your evaluation. And yes, I've been working on this speech for how long now? Not sure, but it is evolving, and I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you so much, Somesh, and I will take into consideration your eloquent advice. Our timer today for the speeches was Fatima and John. Do you have that time for the speeches?
Sabaria will, yeah.
Sabaria has the time for speeches. Okay. To our timer, Sabaria, please welcome Sabaria, who we want to see more and more of.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmasters Teresa. So this is my report of all the eloquent speakers for the prepared speeches. And Vita, 6 minutes 40 seconds.
Oh, you're muted. You muted. Still.
Okay. Did you hear me earlier?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. For the two speakers?
Okay.
You did. Okay. So now
no, I didn't hear my time.
Oh, okay. Right. For prepared speeches, okay, I start with Anvita again, 6 minutes 40 seconds. And
Yes.
for DTM Teresa, 7 minutes 8 seconds. It was recorded by Fatima. This is by Fatima. So now, and I took on the timer from the table topic. Table topic, Lola did 2 minutes 25 seconds. Distinguished Master John, 1 minute 59 seconds. And distinguished Toastmaster Fatima, 2 minutes 17 seconds. Okay, our visiting Toastmasters Lillian, you spoke for 1 minute 20 seconds. And distinguished Toastmaster Kushal, 1 minute 33 seconds. And distinguished Toastmaster Teresa on the table topic, 1 minute 29 seconds. And as for the speech evaluator, distinguished Toastmasters John, 3 minutes 20 seconds. And distinguished Toastmaster Somesh, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Those are my report for all the eloquent speakers in personal growth. Thank you very much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for your eloquent timing. And also, wow, I made it under the 7-minute mark, or around the 7-minute mark. I'm pretty happy about that. Thank you so much. Our grammarian this morning, this afternoon, this evening is Lola. Please welcome Lola.
Thank you so much, Ms. Teresa. So I'm going to report the weak words, which is us and so. And Teresa, you used one time when you were answering to the table topics, you used one And John, when you were answering the table topics, you used 4 times us. And Lillian, our guest today, she used 4 times us. And John, when you're doing your evaluation, which is very natural, and I have to work on it too, on the weak words, you use 4 times us. And Somesh, he used the word intern 7 times when he was speaking. And John let me know, thank you so much. As for the word of the today, it was eloquent. And Kaushal, he used 3 times the word of the today. Out of most people, Teresa used 7 times the word of the today. Really good job. And Fatima, she used 1 time. Somesh used twice the word of the today. Sabaria, she used 1 time the word of the today. And I just want to comment that I learned from Anvita's speech the word adamant. It means being firm, even when others try to pursue them to change. And her statement is like having patience in any negotiations. It prevents you from rush the decisions. And I like, Teresa, you use many times sarcasm in your speech about supportive colleague, and you give other examples. It was very impressive, and it helped us to connect with you. And I like John's statement. He said that I put my mind, when organizing, I put my mind into it. And he was talking about organization, his day. And Fatima, he did her statement, habits, the way habits help us to empower people. I really like her statement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lola, for your very eloquent and comprehensive evaluation and report for grammarian, because it is a type of evaluation. And for my report of the meeting, we started a little bit late. I just apologize, didn't have the agenda up. The other thing is I was not online and all of you were, and I'm not sure why. Fatima gave me a reason, but however, I'm not used to doing it on my phone, so I'm not sure if I'm talking or you seeing me or what's going on. However, and perhaps Kaushal, the problem with signing up was there were 2, I just noticed 2 agendas for today. So again, I apologize for having 2 March 15th agendas. For the meeting, again, we had a great meeting, great speech, Anvita, on giving us the steps for adamant getting through the problem solving and moving forward. Patience is the word. I need that word. I believe that our table topics, thank you very much so much for stepping in. Very well done. Overall, we had a great meeting and I look forward to seeing you all next week. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster Kaushal, Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal, to close out the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Teresa and her evaluation team. I agree, we had a very good meeting. And the best part of our meeting is our guest, Lillian. We are so happy to have you join us. I hope you will consider becoming a member of our club because we are always looking for more members. I hope you don't mind if I ask you a few questions so that we can learn a little bit more about you. Could you please tell us where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from the US state of Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Okay, you're not too far from me. All right, I'm in Chicago.
Okay.
And, yeah. And how did you, what's the name of your other Toastmasters club?
Actually, it's been a while since I was in Toastmasters. It was last year. It was Buddies. It's an online Toastmasters club. Since I was previous to that, I was a member of a couple other in-person Toastmasters at work. And after COVID, everything went online. So I joined Buddies. But since last summer, the timing didn't work perfect for me. So I haven't been active since last summer. So now this club and the time you're meeting, I wanted to check it out because it might work better for me. I love Toastmasters. It just feels like home for me. It's always welcoming and I get to develop my speaking and listening skills. So I need to get back into that.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Glad you're getting back into Toastmasters and that you are checking out our club to see if our club is the best way to get back into it. And we hope you decided it is. Right.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you very
for sure. Yes, I will sign up. Send me the, I love it. I want to sign up.
Awesome. That's the best news I've heard all day. All right. Teresa, I see your hand raised.
I just wanted to mention that Ireland's time will change. And if you're in the same time zone as Kaushal, the meeting will be an hour earlier after the end of March. So just wanted to make, if maybe Somesh could explain that.
Yes, the daylight savings time will start from 30th of March. So the clocks will go forward by 1 hour here. Yes.
Yeah. So Lilina, are you also in the central time zone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
So it will be 8 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be 8 o'clock our time. Correct.
Okay. Good to know. Yes.
But
that will work for me.
But that will take place after March 30th, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah. So our meeting on the first Saturday, 5th of April.
Yeah.
Would be a new time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So for the next two meetings, we'll still be meeting at
same time. Yes.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for mentioning that. And are there any other announcements? Shall we try to fill out the next agenda?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. All roles are open